he just doesn't look old. And physically, he had the one play where he slipped and he looked. You're like, oh, that's he kind of looked like 50 right there, right? He looked like a dude would look at like a pickup Thanksgiving, throwing the football if he tripped on like a hole in the grass. But other than that, he looks he looks the exact same as he did like 7 years ago, let alone
Does
like
he
two.
look the same or does he look better?
Well, the team is stacked. I mean, that team, to me, I saw someone tweet this, and I kind of agree. You could argue it's crazier that Gronkowski looks as sweet as he does right now, given what he looked like 3 years ago, than Tom just looks like Tom's always. Guy, did you see how good Gronk looks when they shot up on his face?
Yeah.
I was like, God, did he lose some weight?
I did wonder, like, if Gronk, is there some weird logic that it actually makes sense that Gronk would be? I just noticed re-recording this podcast, I didn't even put my ham pod backdrop.
It's
up.
late,
but I did wonder, like, was Gronk so physically devastated by his NFL career that it took literally a couple of years for him to get to like fully shake off the rust? Because that's what it feels like, right? That he's
but to me the question was not even just shake off the rust. How do you shake off injuries? Right? He was just beaten down. He couldn't. Remember he used to wear like multiple Barry Bonds level. Like are those even on there anymore? I didn't even notice them.
I just mean if it took him some time to get his body back, like a couple of years to get his body back. Like it was going to take his body 3 years to recover from the NFL if he had just retired. And instead he started doing like, I don't know, rebuilding it in some Brady-ish way.
But don't you think like for example, Calvin Johnson, who probably felt better a couple years later, but he like didn't probably said he couldn't come back. Like a lot of guys probably feel better, but they don't come back.
Right.
Guy, tonight, if you just watch that game, you'd be like, do they have the best tight end in the league and all these sweet wide receivers? Guy, I mean, how awesome that one-handed catch, and how fired up was Jed Fish when they did they showed the video of them dropping the ball.
Pretty great. That's why you get Gronk
Dak looked good.
Honestly,
guy, I had several thoughts. Like the Niners play these two teams pretty hard. These teams like this, Seattle, LA, like the NFC. I mean, I thought Dallas is their defense. I still wouldn't trust it, but their offense is Amari's elite. CD
he looks like
Jerry.
Dare I say it? He reminds me of Jerry Rice again. I'm not saying he's as good as Jerry, but just the way his feet move, he reminds me of Jerry. The way he looks when he runs. That's all I'm saying. But he was incredible. Last year, week 1, I said, I don't think Mike McCarthy's the guy. They hired the wrong coach. But right now, I look at it like, is their offense going to be so good that they're just going to win like 10 games because of Dak and CeeDee Lamb, and they barely even used Ezekiel Elliott on Thursday night and Amari?
That's the thing. That was my thought tonight. Like, if the Niners, we'll see how the Rams and Seattle, who I think are going to be more pass heavy, but if you just think about beating those guys in the playoffs, I saw Charles Woodson had a good tweet because everyone's like, "What? Where's Zeke? Where's Zeke?" They arguably have the best front seven in the league. Like, you can't just ram it. Like, Tampa. You're not going to go anywhere. Yeah. No, so why wouldn't their weakness is really their corners, and then Bunting, who's just another incredible pick by what's his name?
Jason Light, who's hitting like 1,000 over the last 3 years.
Gets collateral damage, arm goes the other way, so they're into like backup DBs. You could say, like, now it's like the Warren Sharp. People are like, why are they throwing it so much? I look, Dak's got like 700 yards passing. I'd throw it on him too. I would not run it on. You see Devin White, he's like avoiding offensive linemen, just leaping on guys. Like, who the fuck is this guy? Patrick Willis on steroids?
This is my point, though. It was like Dallas they didn't even use Zeke, and they looked really good. Here's an early narrative for you. Kellen Moore's going to get all the credit for the offense. Like Mike McCarthy.
What's he doing?
What's who doing?
Mike.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's like Mike comes in, offensive guy. He's not going to get any credit for the offense. He's only going to get discredit for the defense. See, the narrative's already set up. What's going to happen? Are they going to win 9 games? That's it? Are they not going to win 10? And then you could is Kellen Moore, are they going to just do the Jason Garrett with Kellen Moore all over again? That's what it feels. That is my prediction right now. Is Jason Garrett. The Jason Garrett is what's going to happen with Kellen Moore. He's going to get the Jason Garrett.
I tweeted out, Dan Quinn's team haven't stopped the nosebleed in years. Now he's going to fix the Cowboys defense. Come on. I looked at my email. The header was middle finger to moronic middle mouth. And then this guy just wrote, Quinn's defense forced 4 turnovers and held Tampa to 52 rushing yards. Well, Brady
Shout out
threw
to
a
you for
pick.
getting an email.
Yeah, well, Brady threw a pick at the
Old
end of the
school.
half, right? Brady threw a pick at the end of half, threw it up. That doesn't count. His other pick went off Lenny's
I don't know.
hands.
Everyone told me it counted in the Super Bowl, John.
Yeah, Lenny threw it up, or it went through Lenny's hands. The Godwin one, I get Dan Quinn. Like I'm sorry, the Cowboys are just going to be dependent on Dan Quinn, whose defense. Because again, back to McCarthy, he knows nothing about defense because his defenses in Green Bay were never good, right? Because I was thinking about this. Arians' team, they both do the same thing. They both love to throw the ball. McCarthy never liked to run it in Green Bay. I remember when they beat us in my first year in Philly when they won the Super Bowl. It was like, you got to stop their passing offense. And James Starks ran for 150 yards. It was the most rushing yards like in the season for them. And then the next like 5 years when they went on their great run, they never ran the ball. Arians, as we know, we watched a lot of them with Arizona, is pass happy. I'd even say more than McCarthy. But it does feel like Arians teams, and it may just because Arians kind of fucking nuts, are a little nuttier, right? And when I mean that in a good, like, football physical way, they're very physical. You watch the Cowboys, they do have, like, McCarthy's teams are always just kind of soft. Like, Arians teams, for being a throw first guy, never feel like, yeah, they're just soft, run it right through them. It's like at any moment you could just get taken out by an Arians
It's
team.
something about him.
Well, it's him. It's 100% him. And clearly Mike, for being this Pittsburgh tough guy, his team's just Dak's tough, but I don't give Mike any credit for that. Dak was tough before him. You're right. It's everything. It's like what'd Mike do?
I know. He's not going to get any credit for it, but his team is really offensively just so entertaining. Like I'll tell you one thing I'm not going to do. If these guys are healthy, I'm not going to do that. Even if they're kind of struggling, like, oh, they're putting Dallas on TV again just because the Cowboys are such a big, like, they're wildly entertaining.
They're fun.
They're fun. And their kicker missed how many kicks?
An extra point
They got
and
a
2
situation
kicks
on their hands. And it still took a game-winning Brady drive to beat them on the road. I don't know if you had this experience when the game started and they like go to the PA guys like, here comes the Super Bowl champion. And even as he was about to say it, my brain couldn't accept that he was going to say the words Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have won 2 Super Bowls in our lives. It doesn't. I will never get used to that logo, and the Buccaneers will never get used to that.
One of the first time, I don't know if you've seen, this is the debut of the commercial, of the crypto commercial with Tom.
Yeah, I think so.
Him calling the Boston bar that, and him saying like, we don't want you back. He's like, yeah, you would. He's like, you're right. I had the thought, I think in our lifetimes, that Jeter walk off hit was pretty cool. I think the intro to Tom, that they do something special for him, and the whole before the kickoff, and that whole place gives him like a religious experience.
Yeah,
is going to be an all-time great sports moment in the history of the world.
And they'll ask Belichick afterwards and be like, the other team's quarterback.
I had the thought tonight. Even he'll put his headset down and clap. Don't you think?
He's just such yes.
But I think that day. Is that Sunday? I think it's Sunday Night Football. That's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, remember that was like the one. Remember there was some big battle over it?
Yeah, they all wanted it. NBC got it.
I think we discussed that being the most desirable. Could that be the highest rated regular season game? Patriots, Patriots, Bucs. Where's that game? I thought that game was kind of early.
I thought it's week 4. It's week 4.
Yeah, October 3rd.
Al and Chris.
Al and 5:20 p.m. So is that a Sunday?
Yeah, I think so.
So that is going to be special.
Would you put Tampa at the top of your power rankings?
I would. I would. Yeah.
Tough. I did have the thought tonight. If the Rams pass more, Seattle obviously can pass a lot. That's how you have to match up against them. Now you got to be able to block. We saw with Mahomes, they couldn't block. But if you can just neutralize them a little bit, you can pass on them. Let's face it, the Niners do want to run first, and that's
right.
It's just the Tampa will sign up for a team that wants to run it. Like that's kind of a maps in the future. That matchup is conducive to Tampa to face a team that wants to run it first, right? In a big game. It's like, okay, run it all day. Vita Vea? Holy moly.
He back.
That guy's good. Jesus. He was picking up centers.
I saw somebody tweeted like, Vita Vea just committed a felony.
I'll give the Huskies credit. They've been on a lot of the right guys the last decade, produced a lot of good pros on defense.
Here's a stat. In his last 5 starts, Dak has averaged 52 attempts, and the Cowboys are 1-4 in those 5 games.
I heard Cowher do something on his TV show the other day about when the Cowboys were like winning a lot, Dak's first couple years, before he started putting up bigger stats the last couple years, but they weren't winning as much. They were a Zeke first team. And then he was like the complementary piece. And now it feels like they're asking him to be like Rodgers. I saw some people on social I saw some people on social media going like, his arm doesn't quite look as good as it did. It was like, guys, Dak's never had a great arm. Like he's not as mobile. You could tell he probably not as fast. That's his arm. Like Dak was always closer to Alex Smith, I think, than people realized. Just like he's just bigger athlete, but he ain't throwing the middle of the field seeds like Tom when he lets it rip.
Nope. No, he is not. But he's got. I mean, that's where CeeDee Lamb, you got to go catch it. Amari, you got to go catch it. You got to go get it.
He is very likable. I will say that.
He is.
Did you see that clip with the kid?
I saw the clip with the kid. Oh, Patrick Mahomes. I watched.
That was funny.
I only watched one episode of Hard Knocks, and then I saw that clip. But after I watched the first episode of Hard Knocks, I think I might have said it to you or said it on the podcast or something. Like, I get why they paid him, what they paid him. He is one. I mean, it's just hard to be easier to root for than Dak Prescott.
I don't want to say he's more likable than Tony, but he's every bit as likable as Tony. If not, I don't know. He actually seems a little more normal. I don't know. I'm with you.
He's incredibly likable. All right.
I just think you see it, and this is why I'm a sucker for bigger arm guys. This is why I was Trey and Fields over Mac. When you do have a little bit of a lollipop as a thrower, like I do think if Peyton Manning had a little bit stronger arm, maybe he has 4 Super Bowls. There are just some of those maybe 2 throws a game, and now when you're throwing it 800 times, right? It's one thing if you only throw it 20, and you're already going to complete 15. But when you're throwing it 40, 50 times a game, that means you're probably pushing it down the field. And you saw a couple throws like, it floats up there a little bit longer for the DB.
Yeah, I mean, that's where right now it's like for him in the NFC playoffs, home field matters. But, you're going to be playing in New Orleans. You're going to be playing in – where are you going to be playing?
Well, I mean, Seattle, San Francisco, Seattle.
Well, yeah.
Tampa.
Seattle could get a little – Seattle can get a little – but – Tampa's
most
fine.
Most of the good teams are warm.
You're not going to Chicago right now. Green Bay would be the one.
Could rain in Seattle.
Maybe you got to place it. Yeah, exactly. That'd be the one.
Have you ever been in Seattle when it was that cold? I've only been there a couple times. It was rainy, but it's not like it's like 55.
Yeah, it's been cold. I mean, yeah, no, you're right. It's not Chicago.
Green Bay would be a bad spot for him, right? In a January 5th game or 8th game.